Wanted to describe just a little bit of what's going to go on here in this last lab assignment for our discussion of sheets. Would like to be able to chart some data. And first, we're going to put a spreadsheet together in order to chart that data. So here we're going to start with you. It's about time that we start to look at planning a vacation in hopes that we will be able to get out of the house soon. So we're going to start planning and putting some thought into what it's going to cost us to go on vacation this summer. You are going to start with a blank Google Sheets file. Open up a brand new Google Sheet, okay? And we're going to start to put some data into that sheet. I'd like you to consider 5 vacation destinations to which you and your family can drive. Let's leave flying out of the mix for a moment. Let's assume we're all going to pile in the car and we're going to drive to get on vacation this summer. Okay, so we want to be able to find some information about that travel expenses. How long is it going to take us to get there? What is the mileage to drive there? We want to take a look at gas, and we want to take a look at hotel stops along the way. Right, so what do you think it would cost us to be able to do all of this? Okay, so I'd like you to think of 5 potential vacation destinations to which you and your family could drive. Okay, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but I'd like you to use all the things we've been talking about to be able to organize a spreadsheet using the 4 rules to make it make sense. First, to be able to enter those destinations onto the spreadsheet. And then to try to figure out what is the distance, how many miles are we going to have to drive, and what is the drive time in minutes in order to get where we're going. Okay. I'm going to suggest you use something like Google Maps. You can use another mapping program if you like, but I'll show you Google Maps here. Okay. So let's assume I'm going to pick a spot. So I chose I wanted to maybe go to New Orleans this summer. Okay. You can just open up maps.google.com and you can start to search for a city you'd like to go to. Okay. And once you kind of find the city or the location, we are going to look for directions. There's a big blue button here. This is directions. And you can choose a starting point. If you're doing this on a tablet or something, you can actually use your location, or you can put in your home address. I'm going to just put in the school's address. 474 Ocean Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Okay. And it would show you what the driving directions would be. And here you can see that if we were to take this route highlighted in blue, really going through West Virginia, a little bit of West Virginia, through Virginia, down through Tennessee, Alabama, and ultimately down towards New Orleans and Louisiana, it would take us 19 hours and 37 minutes, and that's a 1,300 mile drive. Okay, so we're going to want to put that information into the spreadsheet. I'm going to want to convert this maybe to minutes, so I would maybe multiply 19 hours times 60 minutes plus the minutes remaining to get that into a minutes description there. Okay, so you can continue to do that for whatever destinations you would like. We're going to drive to St. Louis. And again, whatever, you're going to just record down what is the travel time and what is the driving distance. Be careful up here at the top when they work that. This is going to be here are your driving directions. This is your mass transit directions. Here's your walking directions. This would take us 321 hours to walk to St. Louis, or even to bike. Take us 95 hours to bike to St. Louis. How about we just stick with the driving? That's going to be a better option for you there. Okay, so use Google Maps to be able to maybe find some locations where you'd like to go on vacation. Then I want to figure out, and let's estimate how many times I'm going to have to stop for gas. Let's assume that your family car has a 15-gallon fuel tank and currently gets 30 miles per gallon. Hopefully you can figure out how many miles could I travel on a full tank of gas. If I have 15 gallons of gas and I can drive 30 miles on 1 gallon of gas, how far can I travel? And then let's try to calculate how many times you're going to have to stop for gas. Okay. So if you know how far you have to travel to the location, could you then calculate how many times you'll have to stop for gas? Okay. Next, that's how many times we'll have to stop for gas. The next thing they're going to ask for is how much money would we have to spend? As of today, the average price for gallon for gas in the United States is $2.11 per gallon, right? So if you know how big your fuel tank is and how many gallons you're going to have to put in every time, you can give a good estimate on how much money your gas will cost. And then I say, I don't really like driving all night, so I don't want to drive more than 500 miles in a day, right? We would not be able to drive directly from Brooklyn to St. Louis. That's 971 miles. We would have to stop 500 miles in and stop for the night in a hotel. So I would like to know, really, how many times would we have to stop on the way to your destination? And then in the next item, I like another column where we're going to calculate, let's assume, price per night. The typical room at Holiday Inn costs $94.05 a night, right? So let's figure out how many different hotel rooms we need, and then what it would possibly cost us. Okay. And then I would like you to be able to chart this data. I want you to make a chart that shows the gas, hotel, and the total travel costs per destination you've chosen. And you can please play with the spreadsheet and play with the chart to make it look the best that it can. Here are some examples. These are two ways that I would travel and I would chart the information. So here I've kind of grouped the information by city. So I picked Chicago, St. Louis, Orlando, Dallas, and Phoenix. And here are the gas costs, hotel costs, and travel costs for each city. You can choose to do it that way. Or what I did is I grouped it by the cost. So you can see each bar represents a different location. And this is all the gas costs per location, the hotel cost, and the total travel cost per location. Right. So you can do either one of these, or if there's something else that's appropriate that you'd like to try, you can go ahead and do that. Okay. So you're going to start from a blank spreadsheet, and to be able to build the spreadsheet, do some formulas and math whenever possible. If you are able to do a calculation with a formula, please do it. Please, at this point, I hopefully shouldn't have to say to get out of the habit of trying to do all this math in your head. Let's let the spreadsheet do the math for us and let it do the work. All right, so really at the end of this, you're going to turn in two things. You're going to turn in your spreadsheet file and make sure that the charts are underneath. So you can, just like we did on the other day, where you basically have your spreadsheet at the top of the screen, maybe at the top couple of rows of your spreadsheet, and then all of the chart can go right below it. So you're really going to turn in one spreadsheet that has both the spreadsheet and the chart underneath it. Okay. Please leave some comments or questions in the private comments below, just in case you have any questions about the lab. Okay, and this will be our last lab assignment here this year for our Sheets unit.